r/NoSleep. Posted by u/Karen Exterminator 927. Welcome to Minus & Company Hotel. Thank you for choosing Minus & Company Hotel for your stay during your trip. During your stay in here you will have to follow a few rules to ensure your and your family's safety. You discovered this note on top of your nightstand, which means you have been chosen for the hunt. 2. Once again, ensure that nobody will suffer a horrible fate at its hands. You must strictly follow the rules listed below. 1. Behind the TV in the master bedroom you will find 3 marbles that you shall keep in your pocket at all times. If you find more or less marbles than listed, immediately find your way to the reception and ask for Sarah to fix the problem. 1. If, by any chance you don't wear clothing with pockets, do not, and I repeat, do not change in clothing you packed in your suitcase. Call 742 on the red telephone mounted on the wall, but do not say anything. They will close the call and in exactly 2 minutes you will find a pair of sweatpants with pockets big enough to fit the marbles. Do not change in the new pair of pants until 7:20 p.m. or later. 2. Dinner will be served by room service at 7:50 p.m. If they don't knock on your door by then, be patient, dinner is probably late. When they knock, be careful to look through the peephole. If outside stands a lady with a suit and mid-length skirt, open the door but do not stand in the way, she will leave the food on your living room table. Be careful to close your eyes, it doesn't like to be looked at. 2a. If you see any other thing that doesn't look like the description, immediately call 000 on the red phone. The problem will be dealt with. 2b. If your diet restricts you from eating the provided meal, leave it outside along with your food preferences. Immediately follow rule number 3 and as soon as you are done you will find your wanted meal outside. 3. After dinner, you will have 30 minutes available to do your usual night routine, but be careful to not go over the time limit, or they are going to be upset and take you to the 5th floor. You do not want to be taken to the 5th floor. Also, change back into the clothes you wore originally, and don't forget the sweatpants if you don't have pockets. 4. At 8:40 p.m. the hunt begins. You will find your way downstairs to the lobby, where 4 other guests shall be sitting in lobby couches. Anyone not sitting on the couch is something we don't know how to stop, but by calling the number 383 on the lobby phone we will remove the entity ASAP. This is just a dummy sent by it to try and sabotage the guests. To ensure your safety from now on, please read rule number 4A and 4B. 4A. The guests in the lobby will be identified as followed: a tall, slender gentleman smoking a cigar, a friendly woman with long, blonde hair, and a chubby boy with his father. If you spot a ginger woman or a frail old grandpa, run. Hide in your opposite gender's bathroom to confuse it. 4B. Depending on the situation, you will spot a machete on the chair near the cafeteria, or in the 5th stall in one of the bathrooms. Silently slide it into your clothing and don't mention it to anyone. 5. Remain in the stall until the lights are out. Then reunite with the group. If you happen to still be situated on the chairs, make yourself comfortable and say your prayers. They might be your last. 6. Do not, under any circumstances, strike up a conversation with the boy or its father, they will take you to the 5th floor. If it's an emergency, steal a marble from the friendly lady and offer it to them, then you will be granted a pass to talk with the pair. 7. Exactly 5 minutes after lights out, a waiter with a wolf mask will greet you and will try to take you away from the group. To ensure your safety, steal a marble from the man smoking a cigar to grant that you will hopefully be one of the 2 left after it will befriend a person from the group. Let the waiter ask you 3 times if you would like the premium treatment. This grants you an automatic pass to 3 more marbles and a small dagger in case it decides to act up again. But talking honestly here, your chances of escaping its tantrums are very, very slim. After responding with yes to the 3rd question you shall follow him into the cafeteria. 8. During the massacre you shall be situated with your back at the door, and the dagger within reach. Also, for better understanding of what to do after the massacre, read the rules below. 8A. One of 3 scenarios will happen. 1. After the screams go silent, you will be granted freedom to exit the cafeteria and show it your 7 marbles. It will smile, then offer to show you its marbles. Do not, under any circumstance, refuse. It will offer you one of the guest's severed hands to lead you to its marbles, as to not reveal its true form. After it shows you its marbles you will be offered one of them but politely refuse. That's when you will be invited upstairs to rest. This will not occur again and you won't have to follow any of the rules listed here for the rest of your stay. Also, you will get your money back, as it offered to generously pay for your stay. The other survivor might try to talk to you, ignore him and do not mention what happened to anyone, or you will be taken to the 5th floor. 2. The father will come out of the lobby, in which case you will offer him brownies found at the serving tables, to show your submission. If he refuses the brownies, use the dagger to protect yourself, but if he wins, you will be taken to the 5th floor and dealt with. If he accepts them, you will be free to go back to your room and rest. You will also be administered a shot to help you forget what happened. 3. A deer will come out of the lobby, and if you fail to stab it and carve out its heart by midnight, you will be taken to the 5th floor and dealt with. If you succeed, you will be allowed to go back to your room. The following nights the hunt will repeat either until you are granted freedom and finish your stay or until you are taken to the 5th floor. You cannot avoid the hunt. You cannot avoid it. There is no escape. 9. As stated in the rules from above, you will either perish or live, in which case you do not get to only keep the money. Your future children and their families will be granted a pass and free shelter shall they ever stay with us. 10. After you will be freed from the hunt, do not return to your room. It is livid that it didn't capture you and has set up a trap. You will instead sleep in the room to your left, but if it is occupied, go to the room's left neighbor and continue like this until you find an open door. Leave all your clothes at the door and use the shampoo and body wash provided in the shower. It can still smell you if you are not careful. Your clothes, including lingerie, will be disposed and we will provide you with new clothes in the morning. Sleep on the left side on the bed, and charge your electronics on the right. If you sleep with a partner, have them go in the other bedroom, as the room will be arranged by all your needs. Note, the only one participating in the hunt is the person reading the letter, and while you are downstairs we will organize a play for the family members. If you fail to show up or follow any of the rules intentionally, we will take you to the 5th floor and have arrangements made so there aren't any questions asked. Thank you for choosing Minas & Company Hotel and have a pleasant stay. Next story of this video. Posted by u/chronically0flying. Horse for sale. 7 years 17.1 HH Chestnut WB gelding suitable for show jumpers, eventers, requires experienced rider. Expand text: due to a recent injury I am no longer able to give my big red boy the attention he deserves, hence the need to sell. He has 3 very attractive gaits with big movement. He is currently competing at 150 centimeters with regular placings, and has miles of scope to go higher. Has proven to effortlessly jump 180. As with most chestnuts, he does come with his quirks, but I believe his skill more than makes up for this. Nevertheless, it is best that you memorize all of the following before hopping on for the first time. 1. Sergeant likes to be spoiled. He's very affectionate with his humans and expects to be repaid in kind. Never approach him empty-handed, you wouldn't want him to think you're ungrateful. 2. Always mount Sergeant from the left side. This is the traditional way to do so, from a time where riders had true control. 3. Sergeant is very empathetic. Horses are the mirrors to our souls, after all. As such, it is best to remain calm and confident at all times around him, especially when riding. Otherwise you might distress him. 4. Sergeant is quite sensitive. Fortunately he responds to the minutest of rider signals, often moving off mere intent alone. For this reason it is best to maintain a soft contact and independent leg. Harsh hands make a harsh horse. 5. If he does gives you any resistance in the form of unresponsiveness or lazy movement, a quick tap with the whip should kick him into gear. As long as you keep him forward moving, you'll find him to be quite agreeable to your commands. You should have no reason to touch the whip again, though you may continue to hold it for the duration of the ride. Unnecessary whipping might prompt him to reevaluate his earlier decision to allow you a ride. 6. Sergeant will jump it. Anything you point him at, he can and will jump, regardless of size or stride. While this has made him a more than reliable jumping mount, just be mindful of where you point him. Just because you see a barricade doesn't mean he does. 7. He is a good horse, but he is young and does sometimes make mistakes. It is paramount that you immediately reassure him. He will remember how you react, and will expect an identical response next time. Choose wisely and ensure you remember it too, lest you want to worry him. 8. Sergeant gains speed when distressed. If you do find him to be picking up speed without you asking, take a deep breath and see if you can stop him. If he's still listening to you, then you can de-escalate the situation. Rein him in, give him a treat, and apologize for your poor behavior. Walk him for exactly 3 laps of the riding area, regardless of its size, before resuming your previous activity or dismounting. This will give you time to get your head on straight while he calms down. 9. If he isn't listening, or you resumed the ride too swiftly, a 1 rein stop is the only way you can halt him. Yanking both reins will only distress him more, and gives him something to clamp onto. If he had the opportunity to grab the bit, you must immediately dismount. You won't be able to stop him. Nothing can. 10. If you do come off for any reason, the good news is that he'll halt immediately. Check him over for anything that looks out of place before remounting. He won't appreciate your selfishness if you jump straight back on. If anything seems off, adjust as necessary. Note that some issues have certain procedures that must be followed. The reins have fallen over his head. Unclip them at the buckle and reattach them over his neck. Simply throwing them back over will not ensure they remain in place after you remount. The saddle has slipped back. Fully remove it from the left side and give it a careful wipe down. Put the saddle back on from the right side. You may notice something moving under the skin of his back. Pay them no mind, they don't like to be seen. The girth is loose. If at any point during the ride his girth comes loose, you must end the session immediately. Tightening it will not solve this problem, as from this point on his tack is only going to continue to apparently loosen. Remove his equipment, take him back to his stable and draw the curtains. He is done for the day and is not to be disturbed until tomorrow. Pay no mind to the noises coming from his stall. 11. Make sure to give Sergeant a treat before remounting after a fall. You need to get back on because the ride must be finished on a good note, regardless of any personal injuries suffered. It is very distressing for a horse to have hurt their riders. Reassure him that it wasn't his fault. 12. Sergeant prefers to be dismounted from the left side. If you wish to maintain control over him back on the ground, you would probably prefer it too. That's just about all there is to know about riding Sergeant. There's a lot to remember, but it's a small price to pay for the sheer talent of this horse. Hope to see you soon. Note, if at any moment you notice he has any bleeding such as a cut mouth or spur wounds, dismount immediately, if not already. Do not touch his blood. I keep a small baggie with a wet cloth at all times just in case. Water blessed by a priest works best. You must carefully wipe the blood away, then burn the cloth. It is now tainted. This is the one situation you are not to remount under any circumstances, for exactly 6 days. He will remember this transgression, and will firmly remind you if you're out of line in the future.